one of the wonderful things about doing what I'm doing, meaning making these kinds of videos, is that I don't actually have a particular destination in mind. And I can tell you that it is just so freeing, so liberating to be able to do something without having a specific destination in mind. What does that mean? It means essentially being open to, all kinds of possibilities of what might happen, what might come up, what new thoughts or ideas might arise, and where they might take me. And sure, there is, of course, a predisposition through, years of habitual thinking and speaking and behaving that might tend to orient me in a certain way. But at the same time, I feel that what's happening here is also sort of, giving me some other, widening the path, in a sense, widening the path of where I can be. And sometimes it literally points me in a different direction. And so I wanted to just say that because, I was, again, thinking about what I was going to talk about in this video. And one of the things that came up was something that came up in my meditation this morning. And that was the sense of magic. And literally what I found myself saying in my meditation, thinking, and then actually saying out loud, I turn every thought into a magical new possibility. And I kept saying that, I kept repeating that. I turn every thought into a new magical possibility. I turn every thought into a new magical possibility. And it was just such a beautiful thing. So that's what I want to talk about, not at all about the craft of magic. That's a whole different thing. But about the sense of magic, the sense of something magical, the sense of something enchanting, the sense of something wondrous. That's what I want to talk about. And how just entertaining that possibility and orientating myself towards such a possibility is such a beautiful thing. I mean, it takes me out of a lot of, unpleasant moments when I can, after allowing the moment to express itself, like the guest in the guest house, after allowing that to happen, to then say, hey, here's a magical moment. Let me turn you into a magical new possibility. And so, as I am thinking about this right now, partly thinking, partly just, going with the flow, so to speak, in the flow, I recognize that there are so many magical moments in life without even my conscious intention. So, for example, when I see a sunset, and I can tell you that I have seen, so many magical sunsets, and they literally, are moments of transformation. They just literally can pull me out of a funk if I happen to be in one. And I can just stand there transfixed and look into this magical masterpiece of life, magical. And I'm in awe, and I just think how blessed I am to experience this, how wonderful it is to experience this. And I also think, excuse me, how many moments of my life I mindlessly waste, squander, when I, am caught up in a funk, in a miserable moment. And don't get me wrong, I I'm not at all suggesting that it's bad to have miserable moments. Not at all. They are part and parcel of the currents of life, one of the many currents of life. And they should be allowed. You don't want to push against the current. You allow them to flow through. And often when I allow them to flow through, they do flow through. When I give them all the space that they need within my body to just express themselves. As I said, the guest in the guest house. They do eventually, as all currents do, as all waves do, they do eventually subside, get quieter and dissipate. So then, what am I saying about these magical moments? Well, when I am present, that's what I do. When I am here and present, and I allow the unpleasant thought or feeling or sensation in the body to just pass through, they do. When I sit with them and just let them express themselves fully, just that kind of awareness is the love that I offer them as a host in my guest house. And then I can also take a moment to say, let's turn this into a beautiful, magical, new possibility. Let's turn this into a beautiful, new, magical possibility. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I know exactly what I'm going to think next or do next or say next, but what it does do is it just, like I said, reorientates me, helps me either widen my field of vision or point me in a particular direction that is so much more thrilling, so much more empowering, so much more beautiful and peaceful and joyous and fun to be in. Okay, so I think I've said what I wanted to say. I mean, like I said, I didn't know where we would land ultimately, but here we are, and it seems a good enough place to stop for now. If you are watching this, as always, if you have any thoughts or experiences that you like to share, and for those people who have shared their thoughts in the comments, I really do appreciate them, and I thank you for taking the time and the presence to put it to, write down your thoughts. I do appreciate it, and I love that we can get into conversations, whether they're brief ones or extended ones. But yeah, please feel free to share your thoughts, your experiences, your agreement, your disagreement, or just your questions that you are asking yourself, not necessarily asking me, but even asking yourself. And it gives me and others who are reading the comments an opportunity to respond, or it gives us food for thought as well. Wherever you are, whatever time of day or night it is for you, I want to wish you the most peaceful, joyous, and countless magical experiences. Bye for now.